Hello everyone and welcome to the mega vlog, extra long vlog, compilation finale of Vlogmas. For me it is actually December 20th, but you're seeing this as part of my vlog compilation on December 26th. So, plans for today. I am going to start by going to the grocery store because I need to pick up some things for meals or parts of meals that I'm responsible for this week with the holidays. And then in the afternoon, I am going to school to substitute teach, but just for the afternoon. I think the teacher I'm subbing for has an appointment or something. And then I think those are the only two big things for today. I do have a chiropractor appointment, but that's not exciting. And so yeah, my morning consisted of editing the last 6 days of Vlogmas. So those are currently uploading. And that was it for the morning. So I'm going to let my computer finish uploading those videos. I'll probably work on some thumbnails while kids have study hall later today so that everything's done and ready from now until December 25th. But my goal was to leave for the grocery store by 9:30 and it is currently 9:05. So I am doing great, but I'm going to head out early to avoid as many people as possible. Okay, so I made it back from Trader Joe's. I thought I'd just show you some of the fun things that I picked up for holiday things. You're gonna get some cooking videos later in the week, so I'm not gonna show you everything I bought because all the exciting stuff will come back later. But this is the stuff that I figured wouldn't make it into the videos otherwise. So first I got these mini peppermint meringues. I got these just so that I had a dessert option for things because we've got lots of Christmas cookies and stuff like that coming, but I do actually like meringues as long as they've got some flavor to them. And I really like these. I also like that these used natural fruit and vegetable dyes for the little like sprinkly things on there, but these are great and gluten-free. If you need another gluten-free option, I actually really like the Trader Joe's English toffee. I actually got this tin a couple weeks ago, but it's a very large tin, so I still have about half of it left, so I'll be taking some of those as well. My most recent favorite Trader Joe's snack that I discovered has been the cashew butter cashews. Sweet, salty, creamy because the cashew butter. Definitely a great snack for if you're on the go or like need something sort of filling to like tide you over to whatever your next event is, but I really like these. They also have almond butter almonds, I believe, as well, but I think those are the only two. These also were by the frozen stuff, not in with the like nuts and dried fruits, at least at my Trader Joe's. Other thing I got that I've been loving recently, so I actually got 3 of these because I know they're gonna disappear, is the maple cranberry orange spread. I don't know if I showed this in a previous video or not, but I have been loving this on sandwiches. I also think it would be great on leftover sandwiches. I've tried it both with roast beef and with roasted turkey, and it was great with both. I also like toasting it a little bit so that cheese gets melty and it's warm. Absolutely delightful. Last thing that I got was actually me trying to cover for misreading something. So I had seen a TikTok about the Trader Joe's like Bailey's knockoff, the like creamy liqueur, however you pronounce that word, things that they had. And I thought that they had a gingerbread one and a mint chocolate one. It turns out the chocolate one is just chocolate. There's no mint in it. So this is the cocoa cream liqueur. And I got this because my grandmother sometimes likes Bailey's for Christmas, but I wanted some mint in it because my mom really likes mint chocolate. So I found these dark chocolate covered minty mellows. They are peppermint marshmallows covered in dark chocolate. So I figured we could have those with some of the cocoa cream liqueur. And yeah, I'm gonna finish putting groceries away and then maybe get some knitting time in before I have to leave for subbing. welcome back to another, I was going to say another episode of Vlogmas, but this is in the same video as the last one. So today for me it's December 21st, and today is another sub day, so probably won't get a lot of content filmed for you today. But I wanted to kind of show you what I'm bringing and what I'm thinking for this morning, because I actually have about an hour before I have to leave. The teacher I'm subbing for today is actually just chaperoning a field trip, so she is actually setting up for the day before I get there, and she has a prep period first thing in the morning, so I don't have to be there until like 8:30 instead of being there at like 7:30, so that's kind of nice. Here is my sock. This is my stitch marker from yesterday, so I got quite a bit done, but I am approaching the point where I'm going to do the cuff and the heel, and I'm not sure that I want to do the cuff and the heel while I'm at school today, and I know that I will have a longer lunch break because I don't have any like recess or lunchroom duty. So what I'm actually thinking of doing, since I have another set of size 2 needles, I might cast on another sock and just do it with fewer stitches, because I think what I figured out in trying on the first sock is that I could use this stitch count again in the future. I should just do it on a smaller needle size. So I'm thinking if I cast on another sock with the same needle size, then I need to do fewer stitches. But now I'm wondering if that's too much math for me to do this early in the morning. So I was really excited about starting a second sock, but maybe I won't do that. Maybe I will take this sock, finish the leg and the cuff, and maybe take my stuff to start the Sitka spruce cowl, because just doing the cast on and the first couple rows, there's no color work, so I could just take one skein of yarn. I think that's a better idea. We're gonna go with that. So I'm gonna take my sock with me and a skein of my light green to start my Sitka spruce cowl. Alright, I've got about 5 minutes before I have to leave, and I got about 20 rows done on my sock this morning. That's what my markers look like. So I've only got 9 rows left of the leg and then starting the cuff. So I think I should be able to do that during my lunch break today, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have any extra time beyond that. But I remembered that instead of bringing a new project to start, I have travel projects now that I have talked about in previous videos. So I'm going to bring this stripy scarf as my backup project, because I really don't want to try to do the heel while I'm at school. That also means I can stick my whole little sock kit in that bag, and then it's all ready to go. Hello everyone, I am back from school. I had a really awesome day subbing for gym, which I was kind of surprised how much I liked it. There were definitely a lot of people like being overly apologetic about the fact that I had to sub for gym, but it was actually fine. I had middle school kids, excuse me, and I know those kids really well, so It actually was a great day. It was a really chill sub day. I ended up having more prep time than I thought just because of how the teacher sent me their schedule. There was a prep in there that like wasn't labeled, so I got some prep time in the morning, had a nice lunch, and then I actually had prep time at the end of the day because I technically could have left around like 1:15 because that was when the teacher's schedule was over, but I actually got invited to the staff Christmas party, which was really exciting and really fun. So I stayed for that last prep period at the end of the day and then went to the staff Christmas party, which was super fun. And I really enjoyed getting to talk to everybody and getting a chance to like talk to some other teachers again, because usually like when I'm there subbing, right? So I don't like get to just sit and talk with everybody, but it was really nice. I really enjoyed it, and I am grateful that the school that I sub at has a really good staff. So that was really fun. That did mean that I got home later than I usually do. And on the way home, even though like I'm almost done with my sock and I should just finish my sock, I was really excited because I was like, I really feel like casting on a new project today. And I've had the Something Cozy sweater saved on my Ravelry for a while. And I was kind of like thinking through my head of like what was in my stash. I realized I had some yarn that might work. But it turns out I don't have the correct needle size for it. And not only that, but my favorite Prim needles, they do not make a 6.5 millimeter or a US size 10.5 in their circular needles. So I was like, okay, I have to pick a different brand. So I decided to try the Chowgu needles. And I just placed an Amazon order for those in the correct size with a super long cord. But those won't arrive until after Christmas. So I'll go ahead and show you the yarn because you'll probably see it in later videos. I have 3 of these Karen cloud cakes from whenever they last had the solid cloud cakes. I know they haven't had them in a while. But I have 3 of them, which was enough yardage for the like largest size of the Something Cozy sweater. I am thinking that I will, because it's a very boxy, like cropped sweater. And I'm not a fan of cropped things, but I was a fan of the overall structure of the sweater. So I figured I could just add some length to it. So if I end up needing to add some length, I might get one of the variegated or like self-striping cloud cakes if I feel like I'm going to need that extra yardage. But I should check the sizes on there because I made sure I had enough yardage for the largest size because this is a discontinued yarn. But I should see what the largest size on the pattern was and if that's going to fit me. I think it must because the range was so large in the yardage. Hold on, I'm gonna check what sizes the pattern's actually available in. Okay, so I checked the sizes. It looks like it goes up to a 3XL/4XL because it has so much positive ease in it that the sizes are paired. And I usually wear a 1X to a 2X, so I will not need to make the largest size. I'll be making one size smaller. And also this yarn is a little bit thicker than the yarn it calls for, so it might end up on the bigger side of the like 1X to 2X anyway. So I think I should have enough left over to add some inches to the sweater. I'm now like realizing how much info is in there. It is a bottom up sweater, which could make that interesting. I've also never knit a sweater before, so I'm not really sure why I thought this was a good idea. I should probably start with something else first. But I also really like this sweater, and I really liked, I found out about it from watching Knitting Natty's podcast because she made it a couple months ago. But yeah, I kind of really want to make it, and I think it would be perfect in this like super soft, fluffy yarn. This is in the color Cloud Gray. But it's so squishy and soft, and I like as I was walking home, thought that those two things would pair perfectly, the yarn and the sweater. So it's going to happen, but it's going to happen when my needles come in the mail. So I'm going to have to put that yarn off to the side. And I should work on a project, but I don't know what project. So I'm going to decide off camera, and whatever clip you see next is what I decided on. Good morning, everyone. It is now the 22nd of December, and quite a few hours after I filmed that first clip, because for some reason this morning I woke up absolutely in need of starting a sweater. Also, you can probably hear my washing machine in the background because I started a load of laundry, because that's how productive I'm being today. So I started this scrappy top-down raglan sweater while I wait for my needles to arrive so that I can start the something cozy sweater. So this batch of yarn scraps that you saw in the last clip, I was saving, thinking that I would do a blanket of some sort, but I started saving those yarn scraps before we had the house set up. And I don't think I want a scrappy blanket in those colors anymore, nor do I think I have quite enough for a full blanket anyway. So it's a color palette that I really like. I picked all of my like neutrals, so like beige, cream, brown, gray, like those kind of colors, and then added all of my reds and greens to it. So it's going to end up looking probably a little bit Christmassy, but also kind of fall looking. I don't know yet. It doesn't look like a Christmas sweater yet. I think just because there's just so many colors going on. But it's actually super easy. I'm following a tutorial from, what's her username? MJ's Off the Hook Design. She has a video tutorial for a top-down raglan crochet sweater and then a free pattern that goes with it. So that's what I'm doing. It's working up pretty fast. I think this was only about 2 hours of work and I got quite a bit in. It's also a super easy repeat once you get everything set up and going. So it's a good like mindless crochet project. Should I have finished my socks before starting that? Yes, but I felt like crocheting this morning, so that's what I did. I also was kind of taking advantage of the calm before the storm because we are getting it's predicted that we're going to have a massive snowstorm today and tonight. So originally my grandparents were supposed to arrive tomorrow, Friday the 23rd, and instead they're coming today to beat the snow. So I had this day kind of set aside as a like last minute cleaning, relax time day, just to like get some downtime in before the holidays, but that's not going to happen. So the plan is for today to get a lot of cooking things done. So I actually will duck out for my chiropractor appointment in just about 5 minutes. And then when I come back, I'm going to start some chicken in the crock pot because I was going to make tacos tonight. But now that we've got extra people and stuff going on, I think I'm going to do them as enchiladas instead because it'll be easier to serve and we won't have to have the like taco building station going on. Which means I will have to improvise a little bit because I did not get enchilada sauce at the grocery store, so I'll have to make one with ingredients that I have, which probably means it'll be more of a like creamy cheesy sauce than a traditional enchilada sauce, but it'll taste good. That's all that matters. And then tomorrow I'm supposed to make barbecue meatballs as like an appetizer, and I have all the supplies for those, even though like the schedule might be changing now. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to start those today and at least like bake the meatballs so that then tomorrow I can just dump them in the crock pot with the sauce on top. So I think that's the plan for today. Hopefully I get some knitting and crochet time in between those tasks. I also started a load of laundry because I wore a lot of my Christmassy things to school this week or to other things, and I kind of want them for Christmas. So getting some washing done, and yeah, it's gonna be a busy day, but we'll see how it goes. Right, we're back from the chiropractor and about ready to start cooking. But the first thing I actually wanted to do was finish opening my wine advent calendar, which the giant box is right here in front of me, because I need the counter space. So we're just gonna go ahead and pop open the remaining 4, see what's inside so that I can throw the box away. I did forget to open last night, which is why there are 4. So day 21. We have the Divine Pondering Pinot Noir from North Macedonia. So a nice red wine. Oh, it says it has some red cherry and strawberry in it. That's cool. Number 22. I'm not worried about spoiling the advent calendar because this video won't come out till the 26th anyway. This is the Strut King Vino Rosso from Italy. Has a rooster on it. Looks very nice. I don't know enough about wine to like be giving a real in-depth explanation of these. That's why they've been silent for the other Vlogmas videos. All right, day 23. We have a Seaworth Sauvignon Blanc from Spain. Has a little seashell on it. Very cute. And lastly, the 24th. We have the My Two Cents Cabernet Sauvignon from France. So ending with French wine. All right, I'm gonna chuck this box somewhere out of the way where I can throw it away later. And then I'm gonna start on the chicken for the enchiladas first because I wanna cook it in the crock pot. And also if you don't like raw meat, this is probably not the section of the video for you, so just like skip ahead a few minutes or something. I'm gonna make the enchilada chicken, then work on the meatballs, and then maybe do some other stuff and assemble the enchiladas around 3 today. That seems good. I think people are coming over at 4, so then I can assemble them, stick the pan in the fridge, and pop it in the oven around 4:30 maybe. They don't need to actually cook for that long, so maybe closer to 5 just to like heat it up a little bit. That's the plan, so here we go. basement. I finished making the meatballs, so those are just cooling right now, and the chicken is going in the crock pot. So I think it's 11:09 right now. I did have some like brunch snack stuff while I was doing meal prep. So I think my plan is going to be to work on projects down here until about 12:30, and then do another once over of the house and check if there's anything that needs to be put away, organized, cleaned, dusted, that kind of stuff, although I think that's all done. And then start doing some more of the prep for the enchiladas, checking to see if the chicken's ready to be shredded, making some guacamole. But then I think that's it, because there's not a whole lot I can actually do until the chicken is done and ready to be shredded. So I think I'm going to work on projects down here for a while. I think I'm going to start with a little bit of crochet on my sweater, because that is bringing me joy right now, and hopefully convince myself to finish the heel on that last sock. I don't know why I've lost all motivation on that project, but I would like to have those done. So hopefully I can do both here pretty soon. But I need to do at least a little bit of crochet because I have yarn on the floor right now. Hello everyone! Today is December 23rd, so Christmas Eve. And the clips that you just saw were actually from this morning. I was doing some early morning knitting before we got out and started for today. But last night we had a wonderful dinner. Everything tasted great. I wish I had gotten more clips of it, but I also wanted to be present and enjoy what was going on. Also, it's hard to balance filming when you also have a bunch of people in your house, so sorry, not sorry. But then after everybody left, we had a nice relaxing movie night. Just watched some stuff on Netflix, and then this morning I got to start the heel on my second sock, and I was one row away from being done when we had to leave to go to my parents' house for breakfast. So we had a nice breakfast with the parents, the grandparents, my brother, everybody, and now we're back for a little while in between. My husband's gonna run some errands, and I'm gonna get a couple things done, but I finished my socks. So I do not currently own sock blockers, so they are not blocked yet. I did order some that I found on Amazon that are the wire ones that look like wire hangers. So those should be coming in a couple days along with my needles for the Something Cozy shawl. But I'm really proud of how these turned out. I did not make any attempt to make them match. So you can see the toes are different colors, the heels are different colors. The striping pattern is actually reversed on one sock versus the other because I used two different skeins, and I guess one of them was backwards from the other. but I'm really proud that I actually finished these before Christmas and actually attempted to knit socks. So these are slightly big on me, which is fine. Again, these were an experiment. But for now, I'll probably just use them as around the house socks, probably over a pair of like store-bought socks for extra warmth. But yeah, these turned out great. I'm definitely excited to start another pair, but I, in a different Amazon order, ordered some size 1 knitting needles because I think then I could make socks with the same stitch count and have them fit correctly by just going down a needle size instead of changing anything else. So that was my plan, but those have not arrived yet. So for the rest of my kind of chill time for a little bit, I'm going to work on my scrappy sweater and kind of put away the materials from my socks so that everything is organized. And at some point today, I do have to practice my trombone. Our choir practice was canceled last night because of the snow that we got, which it didn't end up actually being that much snow. It was only like 3 or 4 inches, but it is bitterly cold, so it's blowing everywhere. It's currently -5, but feels like -30. So very cold. Was glad I didn't have to go out to choir practice last night, but it does mean that I need to do some independent practicing on my trombone parts to make sure everything is squared away for Christmas Mass. So that's the plan for now. At some point I will head back to my parents' house to hang out with my parents and my grandparents, help with some food prep and make my barbecue meatballs and the other appetizer that I had planned. So yeah, that's all the stuff that's happening today, but socks are done. Good morning, everyone. Happy Christmas Eve. It is December the 24th for me, and I've just had a morning of quietly crocheting down in the basement before getting ready for the day to start. I am wearing my Sleigh Bells shawl as a scarf today. The pattern can be found in my Etsy store, and there will be a link in the description box for you to find that. This morning I was actually working on my pullover that I started with scrap yarn 2 days ago. I think 2 days ago. I have gotten pretty far, and I have actually gotten to the point where you split for the sleeves. It's so big that I can't hold it all in frame. It looks like a giant poncho right now, but I promise it is actually a sweater. Oh, it's because I'm holding it up by the sleeve. That's why it looks so funny. Here we go. Yeah, like that. So it is definitely going to be a little oversized on me, but that's exactly what I wanted. And it's making a pretty good dent in my stash yarn for that color palette that I chose. So that's pretty nice. I am now debating if I want to have that be my project for the next couple days, or if I want to do the Christmas Eve cast on thing that I've seen a lot of other podcasters talking about, but I don't know what I want to cast on yet. So I think I will think about it while we head to brunch, which is only in about a half an hour, no, like 20 minutes before we need to head out. So until then, I will work on my pullover and maybe brainstorm some ideas so that I can cast on things when I get home. Okay, so we had a lovely brunch, but I was tired when we got back because I woke up at like 5 in the morning again. So I laid down on the couch to rest my eyes for a few minutes and ended up taking a 3-hour nap. So that was not part of the plan today. Good thing that there weren't any concrete plans during that time frame. But I now have about 45 minutes before we go to 4 p.m. Mass. So I am going to cast on a project so that I have a Christmas cast on. And it's going to be my Sitka spruce cowl so that I don't have to make any decisions. I've tried it once already. I kind of know what the deal is, so we're going to cast that on. Good morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas. It's December the 25th, and it's about 8:45 in the morning. I did not get very much knitting done yesterday on my Christmas cast on at all. In fact, I did like the 2 rows that you saw in the video clip, but I did get some done this morning. So I'm at the 2 inches I need before I start the color work. So my plan is to do 1 more row and place my stitch markers. While I do that, I also, where did I put it? I figured out kind of a hack for holding onto stitch markers because these things come with like every craft kit I've ever gotten. But these big shawl pins that sometimes come with crochet hook or knitting needle sets are a great place to store stitch markers. So I have my My Favorite Murder stitch markers from Fangirl Fibers. My Favorite Murder is a true crime podcast if you are not familiar. And then I also have my little leaf stitch marker progress keeper ready to go so that I can track progress on this project. But I have to leave in about 20 minutes, so I think I'm going to do my 1 row to place my stitch markers and maybe find a tutorial for how to do a bauble, because in addition to the color work on the Sitka spruce cowl, there are some little baubles placed throughout. And when I attempted this the first time, I could not get the baubles to look right despite watching the directions numerous times, or reading the directions numerous times in the pattern. So I think I'm just going to need to find a tiny bauble tutorial somewhere and watch it. But unfortunately, with all the stuff going on today, I don't know if I'll actually be able to work on this at all. I am going to bring it with me just in case there's some downtime to work on the project, but right now the plan is we're going to go to Mass. My mom and I are going early for choir. I'm also playing my trombone with the choir today, so I need to be there a few minutes before rehearsal in order to set up. And our rehearsal this week was canceled because of the snowstorm that occurred, so we have to get there extra early for Mass. Mass starts at 10:30. Choir rehearsal starts at 9:30 instead of 10. And I like to have 10 minutes to like get my trombone all situated, which means we have to get there at 9:20, and it is now 8:49. I also have to drive because I have my trombone, so I will be picking up my mom at 9:15. And then after Mass, we're opening presents with my grandparents, having a like, not a sit down brunch, but a like, put a cocktail plate on your lap kind of brunch while we open presents. And then Christmas dinner is happening later in the day. So I think there will be some downtime after we do brunch and presents and before dinner that maybe I can work on my Sitka spruce, but we'll see. I'm not promising a lot in terms of vlogging clips today. So in case this is the last time I get to talk to you today, I hope you had a Merry Christmas because you're seeing this the day after, and that you've got some fun or relaxing things planned to celebrate New Year's. So I'm going to get my one more row done and then head out for the day. Good morning, everyone. It is December 26th. I'm here in my PJs with my cup of tea, just ready to give you kind of a vlogmas wrap up. As predicted, I did not get to film any more clips yesterday, but that was okay. I was focused on being present and enjoying what was going on for the holidays. So that was fine with me that I did not get any more clips. I did want to show you what I worked on. I got to that one, the color work section of my Sitka spruce cowl, so you can see the bottoms of some little pine cones forming there. It actually, I can see it a little bit more clearly on camera than I can looking at it close up. It's definitely starting to look like the pattern. I did figure out how to do the little baubles, however, I could not figure out how to make it so that the light green yarn didn't show through the baubles, so I might need to do some picking at the stitches with a needle later to get them to lay in such a way that the light green doesn't show through. But I'm happy with the progress. I think the color work's going a little bit better than it did on my holiday doodle cowl, so I'm content with that. I wanted to kind of reflect back for a minute on how Vlogmas went, some of the stuff that went well, some stuff that didn't go well. Also my number of finished projects. So I kind of counted in my head how many items I made. So I had the 2 book pockets that I made and sent to my in-laws. I had the chicken that I made as a custom order. I had the wine bottle and wine charms that I made as a gift. I had some towel tamers that I made. I had the little sign I made for my grandfather's walker, and my peppermint scarf, my holiday doodle cowl, and my first pair of socks. So I think that's a pretty successful number of finished projects, and I kind of feel like I'm forgetting one as well, so there might be another one in there somewhere. I ended Vlogmas with only 3 active whips. I have my Sitka spruce cowl, my scrap pullover, and the baby blanket that I was working on. Some things I would have done differently for Vlogmas. Now that I have lived through it, I think trying to vlog on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, probably not a great idea. I should just cut it off on the 23rd. I still would have had plenty of content to show you guys without worrying about trying to film on the holiday itself. So that'll be something that I change for next year, although I kind of like doing the morning check-ins on those days, so maybe we'll just do something around that. Maybe just do like a morning check-in or like a post-Vlogmas check-in to talk about what happened Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So I think that would be a better solution for that. Otherwise, I actually think Vlogmas went really well. I was surprised that I was able to keep up with it every day. I did realize it wasn't the filming that was hard to do every day, it was finding time for editing that was challenging, so I'm definitely very glad that I gave myself a buffer to have a couple days to edit instead of having to do it every night. So I think that worked really well for me. I also liked being able to include Small Business Saturday in my Vlogmas journey. I think that that is a good addition and something that doesn't usually get shown for Vlogmas, so I like that I was able to include it. I also realized that trying to do too many projects during Vlogmas is not ideal for me. So the creation of the Vlogmas time capsule of projects that I'm saving for next year, I think really helped me get into a better headspace for finishing projects. So in my Vlogmas time capsule is going the extra yarn from my holiday doodle cowl, as you know. I'm also going to put in the spider ornament and the snowflake ornament that I purchased on Small Business Saturday, the 2 little kits that I got from the hobby store, just because I didn't have time to complete them this year. I didn't even put ornaments on my tree this year because I realized I didn't feel like getting them out, and it looked fine with just the Christmas lights on the tree. So because I didn't get ornaments out, I didn't really feel motivated to make any ornaments, so those will go in the time capsule for next year. As well as a couple of other little projects that I started before Thanksgiving that I didn't even end up showing you guys because I forgot to work on them. So those will be a surprise for next year. But I want to thank all of you for watching and sticking it out through this Vlogmas journey, especially the 10 to 20 or so of you who came back every day to watch. Thank you so much for doing that. I did make my goal for December of having 1,500 subscribers and over 100,000 views total, so thank you so much for making that happen and getting me one step closer to allowing YouTube to be more of a full-time thing instead of one of the many things that I do. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a very happy holiday with your family and that you're looking forward to a wonderful new year, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.